So this was the day yesterday. I actually was not available to trade in the morning, and typically when that happens and I do sit down to trade, I feel very rushed because I feel like I missed out on a lot. As you can see, we had a nice little sell-off in the morning, a breakout, and we had a couple legs down. So I was a little bit upset, but I decided just to be patient. And overall, the context is we're floating around this 4,000 number on the daily. We're basically in a trading range, so I wanted to look at a potential rally towards the end of the day because we were pretty oversold, in my opinion. So anyway, so here is my context. I don't know why I drew the trend line like this out of this breakout. It should have been the 3 pushes down should be 1, 2, and 3. I'm sorry, 1, 2, and then there was another one over here. And then from there, looking for a major trend reversal, I need to see a break of that trend line and attempt or a push at a new low and then go up. But I entered in a little early, so I had my context like this, where here's my trend line, 3 pushes down, 1, pull back, 2, pull back, 3, break, new low, and we already had our test at the EMA, and the bulls were able to close above the EMA for 1 bar, and then as you can see it came back down. Then we had this tight bear channel, and then I was kind of looking at like this is H1 maybe, here's H1, and then looking for H2. So this bar closed well, and my thought was, okay, if this bar closes well, it's worth the risk. The risk reward is great, the probability is low. So here we go. So I'm going to get in this trade, and I haven't really played with the play speed settings. Thought I had it up. There it is. Okay, so I'm in this trade. I'm going to speed it up just a little bit. So here it is on the 15-minute. We also see 3 pushes down, so that's why I also was kind of looking at it where my context was decent. And I knew we may want to come back to a 50% pullback of this overall move. I don't pay attention to Fibonacci numbers. I just look at 50%. That's a good idea. And anyway, so it also was an inside bar on the 15 minutes. So we had 3 pushes, 1 pullback, 2 pullback, 3, and now we have this inside bull bar that was decent. It was closing above its midpoint, but it basically was a doji. Let's not talk about it. So I get in this trade. We have a nice bull bar followed by another bull bar, and that kind of, the fall through right here had me a little worried to where we could just get 2 legs, like 1 pullback, 2, and then come back down. So this next bar is what freaked me out, because now we have an inside bull bar, bear bar, after our technically 2 legs, 1 pullback, 2. So I was a little bit worried. So if you fast forward, I'm just going to skip a little bit, we go into this trading range, and so now we have our full-on channel. And hey, hold on guys, just hang on. So this trade lasts a while, and I decided just to stay in it. At one point I almost got stopped out right here. I think it gets even closer actually. So now I'm looking at this trend line, and boom, we have a nice break above the trend line, and I decide to stay in it. So I'm going to speed it up just a little bit more. I don't know if I'm doing this right. So now we have a breakout. So as you can see, I was very early coming in right here. The context was okay, but I was very early. Ideally for a higher probability trade, I'll show you just in a second, you'd want to wait until this bar closes. and then buy above this bar, and then possibly scalp to here, or you could hold out for, a even bigger move. But ideally, the best kind of buy, in my opinion, other than a high probability, would have been this bar or even this bar, because even though it's a doji, it's a bullish doji, and it's a second entry long. So the context isn't great, and that's not a great signal bar, but overall it's worth the risk, because you're risking maybe, I don't know, 9 points here, and maybe 8, and then your potential is 1-to-1 minimum, and then 1.5 to 2. So now we have a tight bull channel, so you're going to get at least 2 legs up. Doesn't mean that you're going to get 2 legs like here's 1 and then 2. It means you're going to get 2 legs. So basically we could be entering back into a trading range. So that's something you have to be mindful of. And also something that's very important is we have this bull bar in a tight bull channel closing on its high, and then this next bar barely broke above it. So that means that people bought above that bar and they need to get out. And just like if you sold right here, notice how this bull bar closed, or I'm sorry, hit below this bar, and that's a good sell signal. These people have to get out. So what people do is they will wait for a wedge or something like that. 1, 2, 3 pushes up. Now they have a strong bear bar. Now they're looking to get out. So you could sell below this bar and scalp at least to this point. You could have stayed in until you got maybe this bar. And so what they'll do is they'll sell below here, wait for a pullback, sell again. It hasn't touched the EMA all day. Obviously it's going to sell once it touches it. They're going to sell it, make money on their first one, get out, break even on their second, or they could have stayed in it. Doesn't matter. So there's just something that it's always important to think about both sides of a trade. And at first, where I'm at right now, I can get analysis paralysis. I'm actually think I'm going to take today off because this week's been pretty crazy as far as trading goes. So here we have our tight bull channel. First, it could be 2 legs in a trading range, which is very likely. We're getting close to the end of the day here. Or we know that the first pullback is probably going to fail. So people are buying bear closes, they're buying below bars. It doesn't really matter. They're going to buy for whatever reason. It's going to retest the support line right here. That's what I'm checking right now, actually. And that's okay. But we know that it's at least going to come up and help these people get out that try to get out right here. So I decided to stay in a little longer. I have 2 contracts. Whatever. We have a tight bull channel. There's no reason to get out yet. Now, you could stay in for a lot longer. I'm going to fast forward it. Now we get a bull bar. Scalpers are going to come in for sure on a strong bull bar closing on its high just to get out right here. So I moved my target to right here. It's getting close to the end of the day, and I was tired. This trade lasted like an hour and a half. So I was ready to get out. That's a lot of emotion as a new trader. Sitting here watching your profit go up and down, especially halfway through I realized I made a mistake. And so I decided to get out where these people need to get out as well. Now we got a bull bar closing on its high. It's an easy scalp right there. Just lay down 100 contracts, scalp, and be done for the day. Boom, it hit it. So anyway, what goes on to happen is it comes back down a little bit, comes back up again, strong bull channel, like a real tight, small, short-term trend line. And then we have a double top, very strong bear bar. So you actually could have gone short again, get back out at this low, retest of the lows. So if this was a for sure rally where we're going to the moon or going all the way back up to the open, you wouldn't see a bar like this so soon. It should have broke well above this. Maybe had a little pullback, because on a higher time frame, this is a breakout. Like a 15-minute bar or 15-minute chart, that's one bar right there, and that's a huge bull bar. But then you come back and you have this little tiny micro double top. That's not a strong trend, or I'm sorry, a strong rally. That is a strong trend, but that's not a strong rally. So anyway, I hope this helps out. I know it's kind of combobulated. I just wanted to show that even on a bad trade, if your context is decent, you have an okay chance. And on these major trend reversals, which are very low risk but super high reward, you have to be very, very patient. Where, here's your trend line right here, these three tops, 1 pullback, 2 pullback, 3. You want to wait for a good solid break, and then it has to be obvious. We already had a touch of the EMA. It needs to be obvious that we're going the other way. When you get these two bull bars right here closing on their highs, just go right there. You could wait. I mean, you could even maybe go in on this bar. I was just impatient and went in too early. So hopefully that helps, and there we go.